Hello everyone. All right, before I start the rest of my stream game, I actually really want to make this. I guess I want to go through the Weibo from Black Myth's Wukong CEO. I know recently that there's a lot of news about his post. There's a lot of mistranslation about it. There's a lot of misinterpretation about it, saying that he was salty, he was sour, and he was basically when he wasn't happy that he didn't win Game of the Year. But ever since the IGN news article that came out for Game Science before the game release, and there's a lot of mistranslations, and I honestly believe this is also the case for that as well. So I think it's the best that we just look at this the way we do, and I'll give you a rough translation. I'll translate the best as I can and translate what he actually saying. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of Black Myth Wukong. I think that game for me is the game of the year. I had a lot of fun playing it, and but that being said, I don't have a PS5, so so I did not play Astro Boy. And I can admit, Astro Boy is also a really fun game. From all the gameplay I've seen, and I watch a lot of gameplays, and I know that it is a very nostalgic game, and I can see why it won Game of the Year. But to me personally, this is my favorite game, and to see that it's been misrepresented this much, the unfairness from the media, from the game journalism, even from certain, I don't want to dig too much, but even from some YouTubers, but I think it's better just we see the source and see what it says. So basically, okay, let's just start from the beginning. The Game Award has been over a day. So he posted this on the 14th, so 3 days late. That's fine. So I think it might be the best to talk about these things honestly, and this might be. I'm thinking that this could be very useful to a lot of our friends, since I didn't get a chance to talk on stage instead, and a doge emoji. I mean, it's a pretty lighthearted. So you know that this whole post itself is started off with pretty lighthearted as well. So one, this award ceremony, and at the same time we also released a really big update, which is true, and I'm still haven't beat the last challenge yet. The Cauldron of Legend, the one where you beat every single boss. I still haven't done it. There's some people who do it no damage. I don't know how they do it. But yeah. Just keep going. So this basically, they released a huge update, and to me personally, this is a project that took 7 years, and we can finally conclude. Now, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be DLC. Black Myth Wukong has 4 nominations: best action, best art direction, I believe, best game direction, and game of the year. This is all first time for China, and in the end we are able to take best action and player's choice, especially taking players voice, actually not player's choice this time, especially taking player's voice. It makes me really happy. But this is a more polite way of saying it, and I think he's saying that it makes us extremely grateful. Yeah, I think that's a better way to say it. It makes me extremely grateful. But I must admit, there are disappointments and regrets. But most importantly, it's be more realistic. So basically, he's saying that don't want. I think the direct translation would be don't live in a fantasy anymore, or he just wants to say that be more realistic. There are a lot of fantastic games this year, and okay, this is basically okay. I think a lot of people's issue with this is basically this last time over here. Basically, he's saying that there's a lot of incredible games this year, and I still haven't figured out what's the criteria that counts as game of the year, and I freaking wasted my time. So that's what he's saying. It's pretty jokingly, honestly, especially this he's not using, like, this is equivalent to the F word in English, like this too, but it's not like hard F word. It's not like a hard F bomb. It's more of a slang, like a more of a freaking or just it just I don't know why, like, so many journalists taking this whole single line, like they ignored this part where he said that every single game that were selected this year were excellent, were incredible actually, but he basically just digging himself. It just isn't really that serious. I don't get it, especially from like his previous post, like his old post online on Weibo. He's very like I won't say sarcastic, but he's a very jokey person, right? He's like he's an internet person basically. It wasn't all that serious. Okay, and especially from like from what he's saying beforehand, it is very sincere. It's a very sincere note, and he ended with a joke. But I mean, that's just the way it is. From yesterday to now, I see a lot of players expressing their strong disappointment, seeing they're unhappy or unsatisfied. A lot of them are with humor, and I laughed. Basically, this is a low. I can understand these disappointments and these unhappiness. I know that a lot of those behind a lot of these emotions, it wasn't pain or malicious. It was pride and confidence. And this confidence did not get the approval. Did not. It's hard to say this. Like this, basically, he did like this confidence. He did not say that himself. It's basically in general, right? It's like why players are disappointed. It's just because this confidence in the game this confidence was not approved. Being a little bit of emotion is very normal. Like, and I'm actually more confident than you. I'm actually a lot more confident than you. Taking a look at my answer on my first Zhihu is which is like actually well, that's like an answer thing on China, but I don't use it that much. my game the year speech I wrote 2 years ago, I didn't get to use it. Crying emojis. During the game's development, a lot of colleagues were not as optimistic as me. Maybe because they play way too many of the earlier versions. Still thinking the game has a lot of areas to improve on, or a lot of, I would say, not really negativities, but a lot of cracks, or a lot of or faults, and that's not able to deliver on time. My main job in the company is to comfort them that we're already doing the best we can, and the products keep moving forward. Yes, you cannot just be confident when you win. That's not confidence. It's just repeating the result. Today we lost. Today, losing today, but tomorrow you might lose again. So what? And things that are affecting the results. There are many things that can that will affect your results. There are many complicated factors that can affect your result. So the result is definitely uncertain. All we can be certain of is to choose what we can do about it. Do things that are realistic, do things that are hard, do things that we believed in. And to do these things, of course, you need confidence. Okay, fair enough. Very, very, very good saying. Some people may say a group that never did any, I would say, single player games. That I think this can be, yeah, basically, okay. I think that's the best way to say it. A lot of people would say a dev team that never did any single player games. The first game, I wouldn't say like a single player, just more of I would say I will round this up to AAA. and their first AAA game did so well, or won such an incredible, having such an incredible result, it is such a small percentage. It is such a small percentage, and it's hard to replicate again in the future. I just want to say this is not a coincidence. This is China's culture, China's talent, China's market environment, China's game market, or China's game environment, or game market. I should say game market. It's China's game market, and of course, all the players around the world together, and we create this inevitable result. If we did not foresee this inevitable result from the beginning, we wouldn't be so sure on this decision. This is not a gamble. It's going with the waves. And game science was lucky enough to witness the start of this wave, and I believe in the future there will be more colleagues that will bring a better quality, a more fun, a more confident Chinese story to the rest of the world. Very nice. And I believe there's a saying that everyone knows, but many people doesn't know. It came from Journey to the West. There is no hard things in the world. It's like, wait, okay. How do I translate this? This is an idiom, okay. So basically it's saying that there's no hard things in the world. It's only lacking conviction. Well, what's my understanding is, this saying is not saying that if you're willing, any difficulties, you can overcome any difficulties. But it's actually saying that the attitude of, okay, the courage of knowing it's difficult, but you're still going to do it. Then the difficulty and the failure will not be that, no, it's not as that scary. They cannot defeat you easily. And the life that's able to live alongside the difficulties, and you can live a lot more stress-free and be true to yourself, basically. This is a very, I would say this is a bit more poetic than it needs to be, than what he's saying. Because it's hard, that's why it's fun. That's like any Souls game. But so basically, he's just saying that it's it's basically having the courage to face difficulties, you know. I think very poetic saying though, but I'm not sure if this is really related to the rest of it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this is basically what he's just trying to say from his heart. Yeah. Okay. Why is it called game science? We decided to use math, physics, and the branching out, and the branches. And the branching out of, I mean, basic science and engineering to evaluate analysis, and to solve certain problems. No pseudoscience, no mysticals, no reverse causations, and then we can see this complicated world for what it truly is, to see clearly those that are far ahead and why they are so far ahead and why they're better. If someone who doesn't raise a specific question, does not talk about fact or logic, but stating certain opinions as a fact, then it just muddy the water. Maybe you should test them on partial derivatives. Science is not fact. Science it's the attitude to seek truth by using fact. Yeah. Okay, this one's really okay. This may not be like science not fact. And I think this mostly means that science not truth. Science it's basically the attitude or the process of seeking truth from facts. So I think okay, I'm just gonna, from my personal interpretation, this is for me it's basically a jab from. I would just say this. This is my own personal take and not something what the CEO said or what he is actually means. I do think that this really, what he said over here really applies to a lot of game journalisms and IGN as a whole. They basically, they just view this as content. They're just farming content. They're just farming clicks. And if the more juicy the comment is, and the more they want to do it, right? They do not want to actually fact check a lot of the translations. So like especially when they first talk about the whole sexism or whatever the hell they were trying to say regarding Game Science Studio, I don't think they ever took the chance to reach out to them for comment, did they? If they did, I don't think they did. Either didn't. So basically a lot of things they're doing is to muddy the water. I think there's the same thing with a very recent video by Alana Pierce. Oh my god, I don't know her. I don't know how to say her name. She's saying that when Astro Boy won, and she saw a member from Game Science were crying, which is when she was live streaming that towards a lot of people, and especially people taking other people taking that clip out of context, people and pair that up with this mistranslated Weibo post. A lot of people can interpret that as, oh, the CEO was crying. The CEO was so angry he was crying. But I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of clips where the CEO was just smiling, or this guy just smiling like that. When Astro Boy won, maybe there was someone crying, but certainly not the CEO. And there's no proof that someone actually cried. And she would just like, it's really hard to, like, how can she even see? How can she even see in that place? Was it even clearly she saw someone crying? Or did she think she saw someone crying? And she just, when she just stating that, it just muddied the water a whole lot, and especially people taking that out of context, and then plus their own interpretation, plus their initial, like, I would say, bias towards Black Wukong because of the IGN article, and plus there's a lot of I would say that there is a lot of a bit more malicious support for the game that's out of bound, to the point where trashing other games, and people took that chance to, you know, to basically jab back at Black Myth Wukong as a game. It just getting really messy. It's just getting way too messy, and people just don't want to even talk about it anymore. So that's how I apply this to this whole situation. So whether this is what he really means or not, I don't know, but at least I think I want to take that other. I mean, but this is just what I'm saying. So okay, let's just keep going. The truth is, to make games, to play games, it's already a very, we are already very lucky. This in this world, there's still a lot of people never had a chance to play a so-called AAA game, and there's still a lot haven't used a console or computer. A lot of people are, I would say, are more doubtful with the current I would say current condition. I guess current environment, full of pain, and those that are full of pain and disappointment. and those that are facing difficulties, I think there's a more harsher word. It's like a difficulty, but a lot harsher, and injustice. I think the more it's the case, the more we have to make a better game, and making something that allowing more people to feel real kindness and beauty. Yeah, I always believe a good game's greatest value is give this world it's a distribute the wonder of this world more evenly. The road's still long, the wind's still blowing against us. This is more of a saying. It's like the wind is evil. It's not really evil. It's more of it's like the wind. It's not blowing the way you want it to. It's like a weird. So I think mostly it's more like a sailing, right? It's like you want the wind to blow like forward with you. I don't know. It's hard to say. So it means that I think the best way to try to say this is like the wind is blowing against us, and the Yao Guais are still arrogant, or you can say the Demon Kings were basically the thing we fought in the game, but we keep getting stronger. Lastly, I hope the story of Black Myth can give those that are lost a bit of courage, and allowing more of those that are in the dark to see a little bit of light, like having a little bit of light in a dark tunnel, and keep moving forward with say not really calmly, like how do you say this, like basically just keep moving forward, right? Keep moving forward without stress, I guess, without anxiety, or just keep moving forward more calmly. And I hope that everyone continue. I hope everyone to continue having wait, okay, hold on a second, give me a sec. I need to word this properly. Okay, hold on. Lastly, I hope everyone continue to have the confidence, to have the self-confidence and ambition, having the bravery, honesty, and kindness. Make sure to do every little thing properly. I would say humbly accept the uncertain results and keep walking on this road until the last moment of your life. Just like what Hemingway said, the road is fine and it's worth fighting for. Wait, actually, let me pull up the word. Actually, what's Hemingway's actual saying? The road is a fine place and worth fighting for. And that's it. That's basically the end of this entire thing. It's I don't understand how people can say this is out of arrogance or out of sourness or out of saltiness. I just think that this is basically I would say this is a very truthful. I would say this is a really good heart-to-heart from the dev. Basically encourage people to keep moving forward. There could be, and then the results are uncertain to begin with, even though they also have a lot of confidence, and having confidence is good. We just have to accept this confidence and keep moving forward. That's basically what he's saying, and do not muddy the water. that's basically it. And yeah, I think what he's saying is true, and I hope that they keep making games, and I do not want to see someone like a group, like a dev team that made a game such as Black Myth Wukong, to just ending their entire, I would say, ending their confidence because of what game journalists have to say about them. And I hope that players around the globe have the confidence in them to make better games. And until the disappointment with the next game, just like maybe like Naughty Dog or Ubisoft or EA, then you can judge them then. But until then, I don't want to take what game journalists said about them just at face value. I feel like we've been lied to so many times by game journalists. Either it's about games, about gamers, about gaming culture, and not just the gaming culture, about anime, about manga, about the Japan culture, about Asian culture in general. I don't trust them anymore. It's really hard to trust them when they just lie about so many different things, and I really don't think they're that truthful anymore. So until they disappoint me with a product that actually pointed out that they lost their way and they do not value gamers or they do not value their customers anymore, then I will make sure to say something about it. And but I think until then, they have my support. They do have my support because I liked their game. They made a good game. I had fun with the game. It's a hard game, but okay, they said it's easy, but it's a hard game. Like they're saying, it's fun because it's hard. So yeah, that's basically this. I'll say a rough translation by someone who only speaks Chinese. I'm not like a pro translator that can just translate this perfectly from Chinese to English. So I can only give a little bit like a rough translation, but what he's saying is a lot more. Like there are some humors in there, and there are some, but I don't think there isn't much saltiness in this. So yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next, or more or less a gaming video instead. I like gaming more than talk about this, but you know, I think it's better to just make sure that they're not taking this out of context. All right. Okay, I'll see you guys around. See ya. Bye now.